Well, it's summer. You know what that means? It's hot. Yes, it's true. It's finally hot here in the Verde Valley. So if you're watching the show, you're probably sitting inside an AC, which is wonderful. Thank goodness for AC. So for the next hour, we're going to keep you entertained, share some valuable information, introduce you to some of the coolest residents of the Verde Valley, and tell you about a few events and destinations that, even though it's summer, they are still very worthwhile getting outside for. Our first guest today is from the Retinal Consultants of Arizona. Dr. L. Malad Hawk is here to tell us what we need to know about age-related macular degeneration and diabetic eye disease. Yep, we're starting out with the serious stuff today. Millions of people across the states are suffering with vision loss related to one of these dreadful issues. But fear not, there are some things that you can do to protect your vision, so stick around and you can find out how. Our next guest will be Deanna King, the Cornville Community Association representative. Deanna will be here in our studio because it's time to celebrate Cornville's 130th anniversary. Woohoo! It's going to be a big party. So you're going to bring your favorite potluck dish, your chair, your blanket. You're going to participate in the games, the contests, the raffles. You're going to win some prizes and some races. It's going to be awesome. Listen to music and enjoy an evening with friends. Celebrate Cornville. It's going to be great. Sounds like fun. I can't wait for Deanna to tell us about it. Then we'll get a visit from Native American stone carver Bear Romero. Bear has dedicated years of his life to making beautiful objects spring to life from something that was just once a large piece of rock. Very unassuming rock turns into a bear or a horse. It's really, really wonderful stuff. Bear is going to share with us his story of resilience, strength, and passion. That's going to be very, very interesting. The Verde Valley Farmers Market is underway, running from 8 a.m. till 12 p.m. June 6th, so it's already going, through October 3rd. The Verde Valley Farmers Market provides fresh seasonal produce from within a 50-mile radius of Camp Verde AZ, and crafts as well, live music as well. Typical awesome farmers market. Market Manager Jane Davey will be here to give us a 411 on this awesome weekly event here in the Verde Valley. And next we'll travel up to Flagstaff, where it's nice and cool, and meet Ranger Case Griffing at Wupatki National Monument. Nestled between the Painted Desert and the Ponderosa Pines of Arizona, Wupatki is a landscape of legacies. Ancient pueblos dot the red rock outcroppings across miles and miles of prairie where food and water seem impossible to find. People not only built pueblos, they raised families, they farmed, they traded, and they thrived. And today, if you listen and you linger, the earth and the artifacts will still whisper their stories to you. Well, the day we were there, we battled some amazing winds. Luckily, Ranger Case was there to tell us what we needed to know when whispering was not an option. So it's an amazing place to go visit. I think you'll really like it. And we'll finish out our show today with harpist and sound healer Peter Sterling. Inspired by beautiful visions of heavenly angels and mystic journeys to exotic lands, Peter's unique, distinctive harp sound has touched hearts and souls of thousands of people around the world. Peter is one of the premier New Age harpists in the world, and he's going to be in the studio. He's here in the Verde Valley. It's so awesome. We have such great people here. Such an honor to have him on the show. So heavenly harp music for peace, relaxation, and healing. Now, who doesn't need more of that? So it's going to be a great show. So let's go ahead and get started. I will introduce to you again Dr. L. Malad Hawk.
Hi, Jennifer. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Of course.
I know you're a very busy man. I know you've got surgeries to do today, so thank you for taking your time out to be here and talk about some really serious stuff, something that a whole lot of people have to deal with.
Right, so we'll start talking about macular degeneration. Well, let's first define the macula. The macula is a very central part of the retina being an outpouching of the brain that sits in the back of the eye. It's composed of photoreceptors, nerves, and blood vessels. And its job is to interpret the light that comes in and sends the signals back to the brain for us to perceive images. Without it, we cannot see. And as the name implies, macular degeneration is where the macula undergoes atrophy. We have two kinds of macular degeneration. One is the dry and one is the wet, the so-called dry and wet. And the reason for that is one has blood vessels that form under the retina, and these blood vessels leak, and that's where the term wet comes from. We'll start by talking about the dry, which majority of the patients who have AMD have. The dry is where you have the byproducts of cell metabolism that are formed, and the retina has a hard time getting rid of it. As we age, the retina just cannot remove these aggregates as efficiently as it used to. These are toxic, and as time goes on, they coalesce into forming sheets, and after a while, the retina starts undergoing atrophy because it cannot perform its proper job as it's supposed to. Fortunately, the majority of folks who have dry macular degeneration don't have significant visual compromise until the very late stages. So many folks go on through their life without having significant problems. A few, unfortunately, do form atrophy centrally and lose their central vision. The other kind is the wet kind, as I described, which is when you have abnormal blood vessels forming under the retina. These blood vessels don't belong there. They're not healthy. They bleed. They leak fluid. And the retina is extremely sensitive to fluid formation in it or under it. And as time goes on, these bleed more. They form scar tissue and, again, atrophy the retina. As far as treatment goes for both of these diseases, or for the same disease, the two varieties, we don't have a whole lot to offer for the dry macular degeneration, and that's because, again, it's very slowly progressive, and most patients do just fine. We recommend some certain formulas of antioxidants and vitamins that are proven to slow down the progression of the disease. The wet kind, however, untreated can be devastating, and we fortunately do have treatment for that. The past 12 or 15 years, a whole new class of medication has come available where we inject medicine into the eye to slow down the progression of disease, and majority of patients actually gain vision and stay stable for many years. Wow. Injecting medicine into the eye sounds scary to most patients, but I tell you 99% of my patients after undergoing their first injection say that they didn't feel much. Right. It was a much more pleasant experience than they thought they were going to have.
Right, I bet. Now, who is at risk for macular degeneration? Is it something that all of us are going to end up with?
No, no. So there are two things that, well, the majority of the patients are women, and they're Caucasian, and they're older than 60 and 70-year-olds. So some of the things you can do to decrease the chance of getting macular degeneration is stop smoking if you smoke. The correlation is very, very strong for the folks who smoke. They have, those folks have more AMD and more severe AMD. So if you do smoke and you have AMD, you're just pouring fuel on the fire. And there is a genetic component to it. So if you have a strong family history, your mother, your sisters, your aunts had macular degeneration, you should certainly get checked out. And because as I said, most of these conditions, if you have the dry kind, going on the formula, the antioxidants and the vitamins decreases your progression. And if you have the wet kind, we can treat it. So, but there's not a whole lot other than stopping smoking to stop yourself from developing AMD. Wow.
So it's something that's good to inform yourself about because you may have to deal with it. You guys have a great website. If you look up retinalconsultantsaz.com, you can get some more information there, as well as read up about the doc and a couple of other things. And wow, serious stuff right off the bat today.
Right.
That's amazing. I know that my grandmothers on both sides of the family had it. Exactly. I'm not sure what kind. I was unaware that it was wet and dry,
right.
but that is quite amazing. It sounds like something incredibly, incredibly serious. You can give them a call at 1-800-640-6442. 1-800-640-6442. You're going to call the Retinal Consultants of AZ. Wow, thank you, Dr. Hawk, for being here and for telling us all about this. Oh my gosh! And of course, me. But I take vitamins and all that good stuff. I take very good care of myself. I don't smoke, so I feel better. I feel better now that you said that.
You should. That's great.
Thank you very much for being here, taking time out of your schedule.
Thank you.
Dr. Elmilad Hawk from the Retinal Consultants of Arizona. And don't go away, because we'll be right back. We've got lots more of the Verde Valley Experience to come.
Looks like it's done.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
Welcome back to the Verde Valley Experience. Our next guest is Deanna King. Deanna is from the Cornville Community Association. She's a representative there. And Cornville is having a birthday.
Yes, we are. We're 130 years old in July.
That is amazing.
Finally.
Finally.
I know.
Did you not think you were going to get there?
We seem older than that, actually.
Oh, well, yeah, believe me, we all know how that feels.
Yeah.
We all feel older than we actually are. But congratulations to Cornville.
Thank you. The Community Association put on 120, 125,
right.
and we've been asked for the last couple of years if we're doing 130. So we said, of course.
That's awesome. So this is very, very special because it's not done every year.
Right. Every 5 years, and it had not ever been done before. So in 2005, we decided to start a tradition.
Well,
And it's at Windmill Park, July 11th. Potluck. Everybody brings a dish. The association is furnishing hot dogs and pulled pork sandwiches from Grasshopper Grill.
Nice.
And we're having raffles and games and music and all kinds of fun things.
Sure. And it's a free event, though.
Free event.
If you want to get involved in a raffle or purchust anything, of course, there's
Right. The raffle tickets will be for sale, and we have T-shirts that.
What do the T-shirts say?
It's just a small logo of Cornville, Arizona, 1885 to 2015.
All right.
And on the
great.
back is a photo from 1916
Wow.
of a 4th of July party in Cornville.
Oh, how
So
fun.
we've put that on the back, and they'll be for sale. They're $15.
That's great.
And we're hoping everybody that's purchased one so far will wear them
Wear it,
to the
yes.
event.
A huge community support.
It is,
For
it is.
sure.
And all of our raffle prizes are donated from our local merchants. So they're wonderful. They help us out all the time.
Great merchants in Cornville.
So
Just absolutely super.
yeah, so it'll be fun. And I just sent out 29 invitations, personal invitations to Cornville residents that have been there forever, and families that have established
Been there
the
for
area.
129 and a half years.
Some of them, I think. We have a couple that are reaching 100 years old. So,
how about that?
so that'll be fun. And the Cornville Historical Society will be there, obviously, with photos and information on Cornville and how it's changed. And
I bet.
so we're looking forward to it. It's a lot of fun. We get a great community support.
Oh,
so.
I bet. It's going to grow every year.
Yeah,
for sure.
we're going to have to grow the park, which is what we've been trying
Park
to do.
is fabulous.
Yeah.
But yes, there's a space limit there.
Right.
You
Well,
get
we're
a couple
trying
thousand
to
people.
acquire some more property
there
so
you
we
go.
can expand it. So,
Really? Expand
yes.
Windmill Park?
Yes.
That's so exciting.
But don't tell anybody.
Yeah, you didn't hear it, but you did hear it first, but you didn't hear it.
Exactly.
Well, that's wonderful. Tell me about the Cornville Community Association. What do you guys do?
Because we're unincorporated, we have no mayor, no city council. So the Cornville Community Association was established 30 years ago, actually. And there's a president, and they have a board. We have Planning and Zoning Committee. And we deal directly with the county on issues. If anybody wants to build something new, they go through the county. They come to the Cornville Community Association to let the neighbors know what they're doing. And we just kind of keep track of what's going on in the community. And it's a good place for the members to come and hear new things of what's going on and know that we've got their back. So,
Nice.
So it's a fun organization. I was president for 8 years, so
Wow.
yeah, it was really, really enjoyable.
How many years do you have total in the organization?
12.
12. Wow. That's wonderful. And where did
So-
you come to Cornville from?
California, from Silicon Valley.
All right.
And
Good choice.
I can't imagine being anywhere else.
I know. Cornville
So-
is wonderful.
Oh,
it
yeah.
truly is one of the gems in the Verde Valley.
Yeah,
for
and it
sure.
still has that close-knit, tight, small community feel.
Definitely.
So we love it. We love it.
When I moved here 6 years ago, being that my last name is Cohen, everybody goes, "Oh, we got to tell you the story about Cornville."
Oh, yeah.
And is that true? Was it
It
supposed
is.
to be Cohenville?
It
and
was.
It's an accent thing.
No, it was sent to the county seat in Prescott to, establish Cornville or Coneville, and a clerk made a typo, and it came back Cornville.
All right.
And that's where it stayed. And we have no corn in Cornville. No corn.
Somebody has got to be growing corn in Cornville.
Right, no, we have a lot of grapes, but we have,
okay.
yeah, a lot of grapes, but no corn.
No corn. Well,
No corn.
it's cute. I know it's cute when I tell tourists, oh, you go through Cornville, like Cornville.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah. It's
and
great.
there's only one other Cornville in the United States, and
Oh,
it's
wow.
in Maine.
In Maine.
And we've kind of adopted them as a sister city.
Oh,
so
how cute.
Yeah, so it's kind of fun.
That's a good one. That
Yeah.
is fun. You know, and it could have been worse. You know, there are so many other places in the country that a typo has named them something really interesting. Difficult,
Exactly.
Pennsylvania
Yeah.
is one of my favorite.
Oh,
it came back saying, this is difficult, because the person couldn't read it, so she wrote a note. This is difficult. And so
that's the name.
difficult, Pennsylvania.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
So it could have been worse.
Cornville will stay.
Cornville's good. We'll keep it. So that's
Exactly.
fantastic. Okay, so the birthday party, the 130th birthday party for Cornville is happening July 11th at Windmill Park. Now, what are the hours of that?
We start about 3:30, and we have a presentation of the colors of the flags from our local American Legion post, and food starts at 4 o'clock, and then games and everything, and we finish up about 7:30, and hopefully we'll have a hot air balloon, and we'll have a hot air balloon glow at the end of the ceremony. We did that a few years ago, and it just was fabulous.
You do need a bigger park.
We do need a bigger park, yes.
Ooh, a balloon glow.
Yeah, it's really fun, and the
fun.
kids get to get in the basket, and they're tethered up and down in the
That's
basket.
great.
So
That's fantastic. And I love the different things that you have planned. Whoever planned the races or the whatever, you have sack races, which are always hysterical. Hula hoop contests.
Right.
Yeah, I can't hula hoop for nothing. Bubble gum, bubble blowing contest.
that's fun. You get a lot of bubble gum
Get a
on the
bubble
face and
stuck
in the
to your
hair.
face. That's
Yes.
pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And a water balloon toss. Now tell me, who are they tossing water balloons at?
Whoever's across from you.
Do we get to vote? Is it you pay $1 and
Yeah,
you
go
get
get
to vote for
them.
somebody
Yeah,
and raise
yeah.
money for the association?
And beanbag toss. We
Oh,
had a
excellent.
couple in Cornville that made our beanbag boards. They look like cactuses with holes in them, and they'll toss
Nice.
beanbags in,
Oh,
and
that's
there's prizes.
fantastic. Oh gosh! And there's music. You've got Steve Estes and Dom Geisen.
Geisen. And Steve is not going to be able to play for us, unfortunately. He's our local band, and he's had another commitment.
Oh,
so
well, there we
Dom
go.
will
So
be
Dom
playing.
is the man. Dom
He's
is
the
taking
man.
over.
Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. A wonderful celebration that you guys have planned. So I'll see you there at the birthday party for Cornville, the 130th on July 11th at Windmill Park. You got to get yourself there. Thank you so much,
Thank
Deanna
you.
King, the
Thank you for
Cornville
having
Association.
us.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
I'll see you there.
Every budget, so don't accept defeat.
Now you can get covered and still buy me treats.
You take care of your pets. Now it's their turn to take care of you. Visit getcoveredamerica.org to learn about your health insurance options.
And welcome back to the Verde Valley Experience. Our guest now in the studio with us is the wonderful and famous Bear Romero, a Verde Valley's own absolutely fabulous stone carving artist. Thank you so much for joining us today, Bear. That's very, very awesome. Now, you brought with you a small piece of stone. This is really small for what Bear actually works with. This is actually small, but this is a raw piece of, what is this, ice alabaster?
This is called Arizona Ice Alabaster.
And you what's it called, hand quarry.
Yeah, for 30 years now I've been carving the stone. I learned over there in Taos, New Mexico, from the Morning Gun brothers, Bennett and Bob Morning Gun. They showed me how to carve. So.
Wow, that can't be easy, carving a rock. What kind of tools do you use?
Well, I started off using like those horse rasps that you clean the horse hoof, and a screwdriver, a hammer, but it just is getting too difficult. And then I learned how to, my teacher showed me with Italian files, and they never used an electric tool. They always used hand tools, and they made beautiful sculptures.
Wow.
And myself, though, I got kind of spoiled by using a little grinder. I use a little 4.5-inch masonry grinder.
Sure.
And it comes out a little faster that way.
Yeah, I bet.
It's all hand finished, though. I hand finish everything. Use wet dry sandpaper and hand finished.
Right. Now, when you look at a piece of rock like that, do you have something already in mind for what you want to do with it, or do you let the rock sort of speak to you?
That's the way I really like to do it, is just let the rock talk. Because even this rock here, I see a little fat standing up there in it. Or you could make a human face with an animal skin hat or something. And it's like people wanted the bears. Usually when I wholesale I wholesale art, and they want what people like to collect. People like to collect bears. Sure. So I make a unique bear that, out of this stone here, me and one other person were the only ones that knew of this stone. Oh. And I'd like to say a little something about Paul Hawken and Susan Zalkin in Camp Verde, that they showed me where to find rock when I first came from New Mexico, and they really helped my family. Nice. And I'd like to thank them for that.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So if you look at this raw rock that Bear is holding, and then you look at this little bear here, this is my personal collection. Yes, I have a piece. You do such wonderful work just with the stone, turning it in. But then you do more than that, because you do this wonderful fetish embellishment on it, which brings so much more to it. And there's so much involved in that, the beadwork, the feather work. You really make it stand out, which is different than a lot of sculptors. And even the eyes are turquoise. I mean, you really look at it with a complete eye versus just, I'm going to turn this stone into a bear. You go, and I'm going to give him, turquoise eyes or an alabaster salmon, and your work is excellent. You can see a lot of Bear's work if you look up the Turquoise Tortoise Gallery's website, which is turktortsedona.com. You can check him out, and they have a lot of his work in the Turquoise Tortoise Gallery, which is on 179 in Sedona. You can see a lot. Now, these things are small. You work with, I've seen a buffalo that he's made. The thing's got to weigh 65 pounds.
Yeah, I've made some big ones too. That the whole fetish concept started in a garage by Santa Fe, New Mexico, that I wasn't even sure if I wanted to make a fetish bear. And people like Robert Goodluck and the Gomez brothers from the Taos Pueblo and that, they told me, put arrowhead on it, the tourists like that. And I don't know if I should do that. I said, well, do that. They really like that. And I did it. And ever since then, they never let me quit, or I don't even know if I'd make them like that. But over the years, when you do things over and over, hopefully they become a little better. So I hope in the years I've put into this stuff, I would hope at this time I'd make something that people would like.
Well, you are. I think you're one of the most accomplished stone sculptors we have here in the Verde Valley. I know a lot of people who collect your art, and I do it too, and it's pretty wonderful. And what I also love is that you've now taught your son how to do it too. Your son Philip is also a carver.
Yeah, he makes. We try to teach what they taught us as a gift and gave it to us. So when people show interest in it, then I'll just pass it on like that too, because it's also therapeutic. It helped me to get away from some bad habits I had in my life, and to carve this rock gave me a purpose in life and gave me a pat on the back, whereas hot tar roofing and scraping food off people's dishes never really gave me a pat on the back. You know what I mean? When I did this and I saw people appreciated something I made with my hands, then it gave me inspiration to become a better person in a way. That gave me something to be proud of.
Sure, absolutely. And you should definitely be very, very proud of your work, and very proud of your son for following in your footsteps. And I know that you've got a nephew as well who's done carving, and it's pretty amazing. And yet you continually put out new pieces, which I love. You make pieces, and you make pieces that the average person can attain. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. You think, oh, it's a stone carving, it's thousands of dollars. It's not so. You do a very reasonable price on your art, which is unbelievable.
A lot of that's because I quarry my own stone too. If I went to buy this in a rock yard, which I couldn't anyway, but if I did, it would cost, I'd have to pass the price on to the consumer because I would have to spend a lot of money. So the way I work it, I go and quarry my own rock, and that's just a little gas and effort, and it's real educational, and it's a nice life, and I thank God.
Yeah, definitely. And you use a little bit more than the ice stone. You use another thing called the Utah Orange Alabaster, which is incredible, this amazing orange translucent. It is just gorgeous. Well, thank you, Bear, for the work that you're doing and for sharing your art with the world. And I'm so glad to know that it's working for you and that it's helped you. And I think that's really, really wonderful.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, it's an honor to have you in the studio. It's amazing the folks we have here in the Verde Valley. It really is so much talent abounding and flowing everywhere. So, like I said, you can go to turktortsedona.com and you can see pictures of a whole lot of stuff that Bear's done. If you Google them on the web, on the internet, comes up. There's articles about you out there. Lots of people. He's like, wow, look at this.
Yeah,
he doesn't do internet, so he doesn't know this. But there's lots of information about him out there too. And you can always give him a call at 928-202-1465, 202-1465. Bear Romero, thank you very much for being here.
You.
Really appreciate it. We'll be right back with more of the experience, so don't go away.
Orkin has pest control down to a science.
When your business chooses Orkin's Precision Protection Program, you get a tailored pest control program for your specific industry and environment.
Your business can benefit from over a century of experience, training, and scientific knowledge that define the Orkin man.
Maximum protection, minimum exposure, backed by one of the industry's most comprehensive guarantees.
Choose your locally owned and operated Northern Arizona Orkin and get more than an exterminator. Get an expert.
And we're out.
You got plans?
You bet. $50 million Americans struggle with hunger, but we can do something about it.
Excuse me. What's going on?
Dinner. Please join me in helping put food on their tables. Together, we can feed America.
You guys keep going. I'm going to get the plate. Wait!
Find your local food bank at feedingamerica.org/hunger.
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him winning both the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same year? 1 in 195 million. The odds of the child being diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I'm Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
And welcome back to the Verde Valley Experience. I'm now here with Jane Davey, who is the market manager for the Verde Valley Farmers Market over in Camp Verde. Jane, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Jennifer.
And thank you for bringing us this bountiful basket of goodies. It's gorgeous. I love farmers markets. I was saying in the hall earlier, I'm addicted to farmers markets. Getting so close to your food is so good for you. And meeting the people who grew the food or tended the beef or raised the chickens, and
That's
just
right.
the human hands associated with it. It makes the food so much better for you, even on a mental level.
Yes, it does. I agree.
Absolutely. Now you guys are fully underway now. You started
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
And we run until October 3rd. We are on Saturday mornings, 8 until noon at the Ramada right next to Fort Verde State Park, and that's in downtown historic Camp Verde.
Right. Yeah, nice big open space.
Yes, it is. And we've had so many growers express an interest. We've started putting tents outside. It's grown. So we're really happy about that, and a lot of really good local produce.
I bet. I was looking at the list on the website. It was amazing. Basically, it's the entire alphabet of food.
It is.
You have everything from eggplants to eggs, from radishes to free-range chicken.
We also have a meat vendor. We have honey, bread, canned items, herbs. A lot of people will have either fresh herbs to cook with, or a lot of people will have potted plants, so you can take them home and plant your own herbs. So that's really very nice.
For sure. And you've got soap.
Yes, we do.
Yep, and bath and body stuff, so you can eat well and smell good. Be clean.
We also have some other new vendors, bakery items. Lots of good bakery items. We have several bread producers, and then we've got several that make candies, cookies, apple pies, a new lady that's making little mini apple pies that are very tasty, so we like that.
You can get everything that you need for a wonderful meal for family and friends, or just yourself. You know, you've got soup to nuts, so to speak.
Yes, that is correct.
You even have nuts. Of course, you've got pecans.
We do. We have the local pecans here, and pecans grow really well over in Camp Verde.
Yes,
so
they do.
Yes,
and the best pecans in the world.
Yes.
I said that. The best pecans in the world come from Camp Verde.
Something I'd also like to share is we had a really mild winter, and so we didn't have a late frost, so fruit this summer is going to be phenomenal. There's going to really be an abundance. Right now we've got apricots, plums. Eventually we'll have figs, apples, let's see, peaches. So we'll have a lot of really good fruit coming on throughout the summer.
That is true. My fig tree is covered with gazillions of little green figs. They're everywhere. And my peach tree, finally, I think we managed to prune it properly so that it doesn't fall apart every year, which it was doing. Peaches are hard to tend.
Yes,
it is
they
not
are.
easy to grow this stuff, people.
You're absolutely correct.
Absolutely true.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's so nice to have an outlet where we can go and get homegrown, mindfully tended food items, a lot of which are organic. And then, of course, home-baked bread. This is not the time of year I'm baking bread. I don't know about you. So if somebody else is going to bake it for me, that's fantastic. And of course, my favorite, the flowers. I love flowers.
We have several vendors that have different varieties of flowers, and everyone has their own little spin on it. The variety of the flower, how they present it. So it's very nice.
That is very nice.
Yes.
And of course, farm fresh eggs. Now, if you haven't had farm fresh eggs in a while, I say get some farm fresh eggs and then get some grocery store eggs. Okay. Just look at them, compare, contrast, then taste them. Give them a taste test. You will have a very hard time having store-bought eggs again.
Once you break them, you'll be amazed at the yolk on these. It's just a golden orange, and the store-boughts are always a little on the pale side.
Because they're older.
Yes.
A lot older.
Something else I'd like to share, we do have local musicians. So every week we have a different musician, and it appeals to everybody, I think, because there's always a variety. Something else we have is the Master Gardeners of Yavapai County. So if you've got plant problems, things going on with, bugs and things, you can bring a sample to them and they will help you diagnose what your problem is. And they're there every week also. So
how about that?
Yes, that's very nice.
That's extremely valuable information. If you're I'm trying to be a gardener. If you're like me and you tried to have a garden and something ate everything in your garden, and you tried and it didn't work, and your zucchinis are coming out really kind of oddly shaped, I'm not sure why, I will bring in a zucchini.
Yes, that's exactly what you do, and they're very good about helping. So
how fabulous is that?
That's great.
So that's really great, and every week they're there.
Yes.
How wonderful.
Yes.
What a wonderful society. You've got quite a thing going on. How long have you been doing this now?
This farmer's market is in its 12th season this year. I've done farmer's markets a little longer than that, but this market, 12 years, and we really focus heavy on the produce. Very little craft type items where we're just into eating good.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And this is the time of year to eat good in the Verde Valley, for sure. And I love the purple garlic and, of course, potatoes. I don't think about potatoes growing locally, but they do. And the wonderful golden beets. I mean, everything.
Then later on, we're still a little spring, but just starting to get hot. We'll start moving into the tomatoes. They'll start appearing. We'll have peppers, the jalapenos, corn, summer squash. Then we'll get into the winter squash and some of the more fall type things. So it spans the whole season with a variety of vegetables and fruits.
Absolutely. And another wonderful thing about a farmer's market is it's never the same every time you go.
That's right.
So every week that you go, some other fruit is going to be ripe, some other produce is going to be ready, and there'll be other things, and maybe a new type of pie. or
There you
something.
go.
Yeah,
That's good.
For
That's
sure.
good. Yes.
And how are your musicians? Do you have a different one scheduled every week? How are you
Every
doing
week.
that?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So it's, sometimes they're kind of a country. We have one guy that plays kind of older style music. It's a variety, and I think everyone likes it.
Oh,
it
yeah.
adds to the ambiance of the market also.
Oh, absolutely. The kids are dancing. My daughter always
Some of
likes
the
to go
adults
dance.
are dancing too.
Absolutely. And, absolutely. That's what it's all about.
Yes.
Community, good food, a little dancing, a little music. This is a wonderful day.
Yes.
Absolutely. And that's happening at the Ramada next to Fort Verde Park, which is on Holloman and Main. So that's really, really easy to find. And it's from 8 in the morning till noon. Perfect timing. And that is every Saturday.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
Are you there every Saturday?
I am there every Saturday.
You are.
Yes,
That's
I
wonderful. As the market manager, or are you doing produce?
Grower also. My boyfriend grows here in Cottonwood.
Excellent. What are you guys growing?
He's really big into growing the garlic, the onions.
Nice.
But he grows everything: corn, beans, peas, okra,
great.
you name it, he grows it.
How about that?
Yep.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
Well, thank you for growing in Camp Verde, and thank you for managing such a wonderful farmers market. Really appreciate it. I know that I will see you there.
Very good.
Check out the Verde Valley Farmers Market, which is happening in Camp Verde every Saturday from 8 till 12 on the Ramada across from Fort Verde Historic Fort there. You can't miss it, and you got to go because it's such great stuff. I love this time of year. It's farmers market time. And we've got a little bit more of the Verde Valley experience coming up, so don't go away because you won't want to miss it.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Orkin has pest control down to a science.
When your business chooses Orkin's Precision Protection Program, you get a tailored pest control program for your specific industry and environment.
Your business can benefit from over a century of experience, training, and scientific knowledge that define the Orkin man.
Maximum protection, minimum exposure, backed by one of the industry's most comprehensive guarantees.
Choose your locally owned and operated Northern Arizona Orkin and get more than an exterminator. Get an expert.
Okay, Simon, what do people wear? Clothes. That's right, so it's important to learn how to dress yourself. Here's how it's done. Shirt, underwear, pants, socks, shoes. Underwear, always first, name tag on the back. Then pants and shirt. Go ahead and put this on. Now with the shirt, you want to make sure the first button's right or you have to start all over again, okay? Socks left on left, right on right. Tying the shoes, we're going to take the laces, we're going to cross them over, we're going to turn around where the bunny goes down in the hole, pull it tight, and bunny ears. Got it?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
And welcome back to the Verde Valley Experience. We are now here at one of my favorite spots. It's Wupatki, which is very, very cool. Wupatki National Monument. And we are standing amongst the ruins here with the newest park ranger of the bunch, Case Griffin. Thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thanks for having me.
Now, this is one of my favorite spots, I have to say. And I'm a relative newcomer to Wupatki. I just was here recently and went, oh my God, this is the coolest place, we have to go. Now tell us a little bit about the history of Wupatki.
Wupatki is a site where at first glance you look at this and think this is not a place to live. And yet it's a place where 4 different cultures made a very successful living over the course of about 100 years after the eruption of Sunset Crater volcano to our south. What we have here is a landscape that gets only about 8 inches of rain every year. And yet, between the years of about 1120 and 1220 AD, 4 different cultures converged on this area. And we see evidence today of the Sinagua culture, which is down in the Verde Valley as well, but also the Kayenta, the Huugam from southern Arizona, and also we see other cultures as well. And so during this time, these cultures come in here, they're able to utilize the ash and the cinders that came up out of Sunset Crater volcano and farm here, raising corn, beans, squash, cotton, and other crops in just that little bitty 8 inches of rain.
Right, which is absolutely amazing. I mean, I would think after a volcanic eruption, nothing, but that's not the case.
With all of these cultures combining in the same area, we see a blending of knowledge, a sharing of ideas, a group of people that with their similarities, with their differences, they're able to live side by side, get along, trade, and make a very successful time here. It becomes the footprints of several of today's Puebloan cultures, including the Hopi and the Zuni.
Right. It is amazing to me because this is one of the only places that I know of where different cultures have mixed. So you have 4 different cultures mixing in the same spot. Everyone's getting along, one big happy family. Usually all the other ruins are one specific folk, like the Sinagua people down at Montezuma's Castle.
Or
Tuzigu, which is very, very interesting. But what I like about this spot here at Wupatki is the architecture, basically.
Yes.
The stonework is unbelievable here. And it's just amazing that they did this with, of course, very crude tools, and yet I couldn't do that if you gave me good tools.
Nor would it be here 800 years from now.
Now, it's interesting about how the Rangers have been here now for quite a while, and you guys actually live here.
Yes, we have the privilege of being on site here.
Right, and in the beginning, the Rangers actually lived in the ruins.
That's correct.
Yeah, you can see pictures of that in the visitor center. And if you go to the website, you can also see there too.
Yes, yes.
nps.gov.
/WUPA, the first 4 letters of Wupatki.
WUPA, there you go. Very cool about how they used to live here. It looks like a normal little house, and they were living right here.
Right.
Which is amazing. Now, this ruin is actually, it takes up quite a lot of space. It's got a couple of very interesting features. You've got the ball court.
Yes. This is one of the ball courts that are found furthest north. If they have found one further north from here, I'm not aware of it yet. And ball courts, of course, have a connection with Mesoamerica and with the Huugam of southern Arizona. We see the structure type extending far, far south of here. Now, whether the same ceremonies or activities were held here that were held in the Aztecan ball courts in Mesoamerica, that's something that we don't necessarily know today. But just seeing that architectural link is really astounding.
It is. And then there's the ceremonial room,
yes,
which is very interesting.
A large, round, single ceremonial room. The fact that it's round is somewhat unusual. It also, as far as I've been able to see from the archaeology that I've studied so far, doesn't appear that it had a roof on it. It appears to have been as open then as it is today.
Right.
So that's a unique feature.
Right, and has great acoustics as well.
Yes.
You can sit in there, and you could sit on the other side, and I could just say, hello, how are you? And you can hear me perfectly. So it's beautifully designed for an open air amphitheater sort of thing. And then there's one very interesting geological happening here.
Yes.
The blowhole.
The blowhole, yes.
Tell us about the blowhole.
There appears to be a series of fissures, cracks in the earth that run underneath the monument, natural features. We don't necessarily know how they were formed yet, but when the air pressure is lower outside than it is inside this series of cracks, the air blows out of it. And of course it's cool air, and it's just a remarkable feature. It's something we're still studying.
True, yes.
But really neat to see one of the outlets of that fissure system.
It is neat, and it's
here.
not just blowing, it's honking. It's absolutely honking out of that thing, or sucking straight in with so much force that my Dyson would be jealous.
Right.
It's really an amazing feature. You've got to check that out while you're here. Now tell me, Kay, since you're new to the area, what is your favorite thing about Wupatki?
My absolute favorite thing about Wupatki is that this is the only place I've ever gone and experienced so much solitude. And even when the park's busy, there are places where you can go if you want quiet. You can visit 6 different pueblos here. So you can visit Wupatki Pueblo, where we're at right now. You can go to Wukoki Pueblo, about 10 miles from here, still inside the monument. There's the Citadel, Nalakihu, Lomaki, and Box Canyon Pueblos. And you can sit there and you can hear silence. And it's just remarkable.
That's great. That's awesome. Now, what are your hours here at the park?
We're open every day from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. That's the visitor center's hours. The trails and the park roads are open from sunup until sundown. So right now we are opening the trails about 5:30 in the morning, and they're staying open till about 7:15 in the evening. If the sun's up, the trails are open.
That's great, and it's very inexpensive. If you're 15 or under, it's free, and 16 and up is $5.
That's right.
I mean, wow, what do you get for $5 these days? This is fantastic. So make sure you check out the website. You go to nps.gov/WUPA.
You've got it.
All right.
All right.
So check that out. You definitely want to come out here. Case, thank you so much for being here with us. Congratulations on your awesome new job.
Thanks.
That's really awesome. I really
appreciate that.
it. Case Griffin, the newest park ranger here at the Wupatki National Monument. And don't go away, because we've got more Verde Valley experience for you.
They said a bottle was just a bottle. That no one would ever notice me. But I knew I could be more. That one day, I would make people smile.
wonderful. That's wonderful. Peter Sterling, everyone. Wow, harpist and sound healer. What an honor to have you in the studio.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. I did my research, and I know that you're amazing. You're known worldwide. People are touched by your music all over the globe. One of your CDs was touted as the best new age harp music of the century, which is pretty amazing. I mean, that is absolutely amazing. So we have an extremely accomplished person.
Thank you.
I'm like in awe. And absolutely gorgeous. Now tell me, was that channeled or was that a written composition?
That was an improvisation of a reoccurring theme.
Nice.
But it's always different whenever I play it. I like to make it new all the time. Keeps it fresh for me.
Yeah, it's wonderful, and you can see how it comes out of you while you're playing. You can just see all the light going on as you play. It's really, really amazing. And how did you get to this point? I know that this was a big change for you at one point.
Right. Well, I have a great Sedona story because I came to Sedona 25 years ago. And I retreated into the outback. I had a Volkswagen camper van, and I was on a vision quest to discover what my mission was. What is my work? Why am I here? All the big questions. So I retreated. This was before cell phones and personal computers and the internet, so it was very easy to just unplug, and I went in my van, and I slept every night out in the canyons off of Dry Creek Road. And back in those days, you could camp anywhere in the forest. But the main thing that affected me was just spending so much time in the solitude and the silence of the canyons, and I just went into a very deep, very quiet place of deep serenity, and it was within that place where I started to hear music. And then as I tuned into it, it got louder, and I felt it inside of me, and it wanted to come out. So it was like I was on a vision quest, and all of a sudden this vision of me playing the harp came, and it felt like I had angels around me, and it was kind of a heavenly thing that happened, and they chose me and said, "You're going to play the harp."
Wow.
So I said yes, and 10 months later I recorded my first record, which got discovered by an international record label that contacted me, and I signed a record deal for worldwide distribution. The music went all over, and I was nominated for a national award of String Album of the Year in the Indie Awards in 1994. So it happened very quickly for me. It was very exciting, and I decided, well, it looks like a good thing, so I'll stay with this. And since then, several of my records have been at the top of the charts, #1 on the radio, even recently, the last couple of albums. So
you've released 15 now.
I got 15 CDs, and I got a book now too. Here's my book for everybody.
Your new book.
Hearing the Angels Sing, A True Story of Angelic Assistance. So it's a wonderful Sedona story. It's a journey into the canyons and everything that happened to me.
That's your story.
So, yes.
That's wonderful. Well, congratulations
Thank you.
on your book release and your 15th album. That is really, truly amazing. Now, tell me a little bit about a harp. One thing, these are expensive, aren't they?
Well, that's true. That's true.
These are, I mean, guitars cost some money, but harps are like a car.
Yeah. I mean, the big ones can cost $25,000, $30,000 or more.
Yeah, absolutely. This is your portable one, correct?
Yeah, this is my main working harp that I take out. I've got 8 harps at home.
8?
Yeah, from all different sizes, all the way up to the big one. So
that's wonderful.
Yeah, I got a whole family of harps.
That's great. And speaking of family, your family is involved in it. You've got your young son, Micah.
That's true.
He's quite a musician as well, already playing the harp himself.
That's true.
And quite the drummer, and taking just after Dad. It's so much fun when the kids take after us, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
My daughter takes nothing after me.
The joys of parenthood.
I know. That is true. That is true. So what are you working on now?
Well, I'm working on a new CD, number 16, and it's going to be different. It's got some Sanskrit chants on it with world beats and hypnotic grooves, and it's going to be really interesting and different from anything I've ever done.
That's great.
So.
I did notice that each one of your CD releases were different. Like you have one that's almost Caribbean inspired, and then you're working on this one with the more Eastern type of tempo.
You know, I've been lucky enough to be able to travel all over the world, and I've been to Egypt and India and England and different places like that. So all these places affect me by their culture and their music, and so my music has a world fusion element to it, and as well as some classical elements and some jazz elements, and so it's an eclectic mix, my own unique sound.
Sure, which is wonderful that everything you put out has a different sound to it.
That's true. It keeps it fresh for me.
It absolutely does, for sure. You can check out Peter on his website, harpmagic.com. Beautiful website. everything you want to know about
Thank
that.
you.
Of course, the music is available on Amazon
Thank you.
and all your regular music retailers. Now tell me, you are a harpist and a sound healer.
That's
What
right.
is a sound healer?
Well, I work with the harp. You know, the harp was played in the ancient temples in Egypt and ancient Greece and Samaria, and it was used in the healing temples. So there's a long tradition of this instrument being used for healing purposes and also for ceremony. So I've always kind of taken on that magical, mystical quality with the instrument. So I also use the crystal bowls, but my specialty is I'm a backcountry guide here in Sedona for many years, and I take people out into the backcountry and I lay them on the rocks, and I do the crystal bowls, and we do the wind harp, where the wind plays the harp and creates this wash of the most beautiful heavenly sound you've ever heard. And that's on my website. You can hear it. It's called Circles of Light. But so I give a real unique experience to Sedona, working with the sound, because the sound can really transport people. Well, and it goes very deep on a cellular level to clear and to heal the body.
There's lots and lots of research out there about how the sound and vibration and frequencies can help heal or open blockages, or of course we know it soothes the nerves, or it can get you excited. It depends on the type of frequency you've got going there. But music is a wonderful healing device, and thank you for sharing your
That's right.
your
Actually,
healing
this is one of my most recent CDs, Center of the Circle, and this is my music with additional vibroacoustic frequencies that affect brainwave states. This is excellent for meditation and healing work, and
you've got that extra stuff embedded underneath the music, which you don't have to do anything for. I love those because all you got to do is listen to it. You don't actually have to do anything, and it affects your brain on this very deep level, and your body and your soul on a deep level. So I love when they embed those extra frequencies into that meditative music. I'm going to have to start learning to meditate.
I'm going to give you this one as a gift. So
you're so sweet. There we go. Now I have no choice. I have to start meditating now. I'm like the anti-meditator. I'm so.
You don't have to meditate with it. You just put it on and let it play.
Oh yeah, no, this is wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The harp. There's nothing quite like the harp.
That's true.
It's completely different than any other string instrument.
Yeah, because it creates the most pure tone, and it has the most harmonic overtones of any instrument. So. That's why it was held in such high regard throughout many, many ancient cultures.
Sure.
We have harps in museums that are 5,000 years old.
Wow.
So from ancient Samaria.
That's truly amazing. It's an amazing, wonderful music. Creating, see, I'm at awe now. I'm speechless. It's wonderful. It's a beautiful instrument, and you're a beautiful man playing. Thank you so much for sharing your talents with the world. Really appreciate it. You're going to play another selection for us. Peter Sterling, everyone.
Thank you.
Harpist and sound healer. Check him out at harpmagic.com. Thank you for watching the Verde Valley Experience. Hope you'll join us again next time.
All right, thank you.